Fuck it, let's live. Good evening, and welcome to another episode, for what it's worth, of Gear Wizard TV. And with me, as always, is not JD. Unfortunately, JD was unable to join us tonight. We won't go into why. It's our little secret. But in his stead is our friend Jethrobot.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome, Jethrobot.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm excited about talking about nothing. Who doesn't want to do that?
Fuck it, let's light up. That is yummy. Doesn't taste quite like donuts, but it sure does smell like donuts.
Yeah, I've had this bag of Thunderfuck for like a month at least, Like it's just, yeah.
I can't remember the last
It's
time.
been an old friend.
Last time I had any ATF or MTF, depending on who labeled it. Matanuska Thunderfuck. Such a good name.
Mm-hmm.
This is glazed pastry. Is the name of it.
Oh yeah, you said it smells like donuts, sort of,
It smells kind of like fresh baked donuts. Yeah.
Nice.
Glazed pastry. Once again from our friends at Bushy Beards, who's rapidly become my favorite Vermont-based grower.
Nice.
And once again, friends, if you've never been up here, this is worth a weed tour vacation. I have never had better weed than Vermont.
Wow.
The smallness of the state comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
There's really only a couple of corporate farms because the population is low, the market is low. Massachusetts has the volume. So all we have are craft growers. Lovely, lovely craft growers.
You know what I would like is a steam engine and weed fest, where all you did was just smoke weed and watch people who are into steam engines do their thing. It's basically, you know what I really want to do is get high at a steam engine fest. I guess it doesn't have to be a weed fest. I haven't been to one of those in a really long time.
I don't know, didn't know that there was a steam engine fest.
Yeah, it's like steam engine, guys that are just really into it. I assume they're all retired hobbyists or what have you.
Are they trains or?
Well, when I was a kid, you would go there and there was a train that they would let the kids ride. It was like a tractor, really, but kind of I don't know, a steam engine thing that moves on the ground that you get to ride in. Has the big wheels, and then there's just a lot of steam engines that what they do is they move a belt, and they'll have something fun on the other end. And so it's like a craft thing, and it's also an engine thing, like it's and it's also like an obsessive thing, for some people. So,
No,
but
nobody
yeah,
with autism there.
yeah. Uh, and you can get like home steam engine sets and just kind of do the exact same thing at home, where you make a steam engine and then you get a belt and then you get different things that you can put on your tiny little home steam engine.
I should not go down that road. I can see that being yet another obsession that I can't afford
Yeah.
or have room for.
Well, there were. I mean, that was just I didn't come here planning on talking about steam engines,
Well,
but
no,
yeah, it
I'm
would be.
kind of
Yeah,
intrigued now.
yeah, I know. Like, if you could find, I assume like where you're at in your part of the country, you should be able to find one at some point. But yeah, like they have them in Ohio. Obviously, that's why I know about it. So
There's a Wikipedia page with steam fairs, they call them. It's
steam
evidently huge in
fairs.
the UK. There's a lot of them in the UK.
Oh well, how nice.
There's a couple in Australia, including the Boolaroo Steam and Traction Rally. That's just fun to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right up there with Bacchanal, which is one in Cornwall. But yeah, the United States has many. I'm not going to go down this whole list at the moment. I'm not seeing Vermont, though, or Massachusetts, Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas.
How is there not a Massachusetts? It's a big state. Or there'll be a Pennsylvania. That's what I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
yes, Massachusetts
Pennsylvania
is a
has
big
several.
state, but there'll be a Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania has several.
Probably some pretty good ones too.
Well, who knew? Steam Festival.
Road trip.
Well, I really have very little to talk about tonight. I don't know what we're gonna do.
There was. I did want to talk about a couple things going on in movie news. Because I am a fan of horror films and horror film franchises, as I know you are as well. And I honestly don't know what all went on where they wound up pulling the plug on Saw 11. But I guess like James Wan, has not had anything to do with like Twisted Pictures for a while, but he has his own releasing company, and he's going for it with trying to get Saul back into his control. So Saw 11 may still happen.
I certainly hope so. I can't get enough Saw.
I don't know if he would go the route they were planning on going, which is like a sequel to the prequel, that continues this new storyline that they've etched out that happens before the first Saw, which, you don't have much options when you've killed your villain.
No, and really, Tobin Bell makes that series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need Tobin Bell.
He is by far the best thing they have.
But anyway, it's good news on the Saw front. Wheels are moving again. And knowing that it's Saw, once they get started, they're from, day one to theater date. It's really not all that much time.
No, but we're probably not going to make this fall. So,
Oh no, no,
uh,
they're not Superman.
and I was all excited.
And then the other really interesting piece of news for horror franchises is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I have not
Um,
heard.
yeah, I guess the rights are, um, they're up in the air right now, and so there's a bidding war. One of the participants in the bidding war is A24, which is looking at both possibility of a show or a movie. But much more interesting is Neon is in the bidding war, and they're looking at Oz Perkins. Um, and if you didn't know this, Oz Perkins has his own, just like James. Am I getting his name right? Or am I drawing a blank? It is James Wan, right?
From
For
Saul,
Saul?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Just like James Wan, he has his own releasing company that he's set up through Neon in a partnership. So it's going to be Oz Perkins and Neon for a while, and they're looking at trying to get their hands on those rights, as is Jordan Peele with Monkey's Paw. So um, there's not really any you know uh, terrible scenarios. I think someone was looking at it with Netflix, but that might have been A24. So I'm not sure. But
A24
anyway,
is the one I would be least interested in.
right. I'm much more excited in the idea of, Oz Perkins, producing, possibly writing, possibly directing. All of those things sound very exciting. If he wants to be the next actor to portray Leatherface, I'm fine with that. Or if he wants to step into the role of the father, yeah, I guess what they call him, the patriarch, the guy who ran the store. Shit, what's it? I don't know. I wish someone was watching who knew
I'm bad with names.
Texas Chainsaw, who knew this stuff and could help me out here. But anyway, he could do that role. He could do the hitchhiker if he wanted to. But really, like there's a lot of actors who would make a great hitchhiker. You could just go left field with it or whatever you wanted to do. Same really goes with the family, honestly. And I have no idea what they have planned. What I've always wanted to, like, if I was like, I got the rights to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would just do the family's perspective in the immediate aftermath of the end of the first one. So, it's Leatherface is still alive, the hitchhiker is dead, and obviously they're about to be in a lot of trouble if they don't get away. So, and of course the idea, then you can just fit stuff in between the first and second movie if you want, because there's a lot that could happen before you wind up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You could tell a whole story about that family between 1 and 2.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure there's worse ideas, for Texas
There's
Chainsaw.
certainly
Like
been worse movies.
there's certainly been worse movies. So yeah, Hollywood, if you want a treatment, or if you just want to steal that idea, fine, go ahead. I don't care. But yeah, I think I would want Oz Perkins, probably top of the list of those contenders. But I'm a huge Jordan Peele fan. I would love to see what Jordan Peele does with it.
And it would
That'd be
probably be
great.
something different. I'm kind of
Mhm.
excited about seeing what somebody like Jordan Peele would do with it.
Yeah, and he's got a movie. He's got a horror film that he produced coming out here. Um, about football, so that's cool. Horror movie about a football player. Looks, it looks good. I can't remember what it's called, but you could probably Google it just based on what I said.
Horror
See, a
movie, I'm
pretty neat.
okay with.
It's
Football player, I could live without.
right. Well, I think it's like it kind of looks like Black Swan except for football players. Like like he's like crumbling apart or whatever. Yeah,
Full Metal Football
Full Metal Football.
jacket.
Excuse me.
How rude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else I would want to do with the franchise other than direct sequel. And if you do like direct sequel, then you get to do all those costumes and cars and like you get to set it in the 70s, keep it in the 70s, like just keep it in the immediate aftermath. Like don't even tell the whole story. Don't try and link it up to two. Just, you know, tell like enough where
I know what I
it's
don't
it's
want.
more it's more in the vein, and it's totally fucked up, and it's about how like it's about how just utterly insane and macabre they are, and how like their madness it's contagious to their victims, and yeah,
Just
see
don't
what you could do.
remake the first one again. Because we've done that a few times.
Yeah,
I don't think we
we
need
do
that
not.
anymore.
Yeah, we do not need any more origin stories. Yeah, we don't need any more remakes. We really do like need to find a way to make it interesting.
New
Let's
and
make it
different.
interesting again. Yeah. So, because I do feel like as it goes, like after the next generation, and I know a lot of people don't even like the next generation, but yeah, after the next generation, Texas Chainsaw's just it's just fucking terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fucking terrible. And from what I haven't even watched the two most recent ones because I just like gave up. But like from what I understand, like one's a Leatherface prequel, and then one is a Leatherface today. Tries to do the whole Halloween thing, and yeah, from what I understand, they are both just god awful, and I'm not interested in seeing. I'm tired of things I like getting spit on like that. Meh.
Yeah, I haven't seen one since, I guess, the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, we saw the beginning in the theater. I also saw Texas Chainsaw 3D in the theater. That was the last one I saw. They've made two more since then, and yeah,
I don't remember if I saw
not
that one or not.
interested. Not interested. The best part, like I said, I saw it in the theater, and the best part was that they showed a recap of the first film, and so you got to see a lot of the footage from the first film in 3D, and it looked great. And it really, I was like, why didn't they just put out Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 3D? Be a much better movie than a movie about this daughter of Leatherface that she doesn't know she's Leatherface's daughter, but there are clues like she likes to cut up her shirts.
It's a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. No, I don't think I saw that. And I'm a better man for it.
Yeah.
In other news, High Times magazine has been sold.
Really?
Yes.
What did you think of High Times when you were younger? Like when like pre-internet, when magazines were a lot more relevant. Like what was your
Honestly,
impression of that?
I got it mainly to look at the pictures. But of course, at the time, when I was first interested in it, I couldn't keep it around
Uh-huh.
because it was the sort of evidence that would have got me in trouble.
Sure.
And then they started like in the 80s, they had a lot of coke in there, and I was just kind of turned off by the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
when they seemed to really embrace that cocaine culture.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get when you make weed illegal. You know, then it gets pushed in with other stuff. It's the only reason why anyone would think of it as the gateway drug is for that reason.
But now I love the pictures. The centerfolds were always amazing.
Yeah,
But
I I always found weed culture like that to be kind of embarrassing. Like it was kind of like I don't know. Um, Not really Fangoria, but some of the other horror magazines, the way their articles were written sometimes, it was just, it's like, man, this is like made for an idiot. And that's how High Times seemed to me, like sometimes, where it's just like, man, this magazine is it's insulting my intelligence, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like,
I definitely had not read it in a long time
yeah,
for pretty much those reasons.
yeah, yeah. Um, but
I
yeah,
think
they did. I mean, they as a publication they did good work. Like it was good that they were at the forefront, and it was good that they did all the advocacy work. And yeah, so I'm not trying to insult them. I mean, I guess I did insult them, but I'm not trying to diss them altogether. You know,
the good with the bad.
yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm actually a fan of the guy who bought High Times. Josh Kesselman is the new owner of High Times. I can tell by the look on your face you have no idea who Josh Kesselman was
No,
or is.
well, it sounds familiar. Is he the raw dude?
He is the raw dude.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Because as when you said Josh Kesselman, I was like, I feel like I've heard you talk about him before. So yeah, I know that he's also does good work as a good advocate.
Good advocate, philanthropist. Uh, but also just incredibly excited about weed.
Yeah, man after your own heart.
Indeed. And donkeys. He has donkeys now.
Hmm,
He rescued a couple donkeys and posts about them quite frequently.
that's cool. Well, here's to you, Josh. Way to go, rescuing donkeys. Ah, well, let's see what else. I don't know anything. I don't know what else is going on. Obviously, I don't want to talk about some things that are going on in the world right now. It's just not my thing.
What is going on in Texas like today with the THC law change? Has that happened?
So it does seem pretty certain that it will go into effect. It was voted through and put on Abbott's desk, and I wasn't really expecting this, and I didn't even like really know this was happening. I kind of just assumed it'd be a done deal. I mean, after all, this is Texas. Um,
And I mean, he's pretty tight with old Paxton, who's behind the whole deal. I understand.
no, not Patrick.
Patrick,
Patrick, yeah, the lieutenant governor.
the lieutenant governor.
Yeah, he's yeah. Um, and just all of a sudden, uh, Dan Patrick does this press conference where he has these gummies and other snacks that have THC in them, that you can buy legally here in Texas, because of the last time a law was passed in regards to cannabis. And if, anyone watching this, wants to know more about that and, what happened years ago that kind of accidentally made weed legal in Texas, you could, I would recommend you just look into that. It's a long and weird story. But
Starting
anyway,
though with the federal hemp bill.
right. Yes. Starting with the bill. Yeah. Just a bill not written in, not paid close enough attention to. So, so he's doing this press conference and he's being really aggressive, and he's accusing the media, of course, of being false, and misrepresenting the issue. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, because like I said, I just assumed that Abbott was going to sign it. What is this? Why is he doing this? Who is he doing this for? They passed this. Is he just mad at the news? But no, as it turns out, he's, because I was like, is he doing this for Abbott? Does he think Abbott's not going to sign it? He's, and if you don't know, because I don't, it could be different in other places, but if Abbott doesn't sign this and doesn't veto it, it goes into law anyway. So signing it is kind of like a ceremonial, the governor approves sort of thing. But if he just waits until the 22nd and doesn't do anything, then it goes into law anyway. And then I guess for him, it can just kind of look like, yeah, I wasn't really into that, But I don't know. Maybe there's just an enormously expensive lobby in the pro cannabis camp. And then my other theory was that Greg Abbott's been getting high, and he's really not that wild. He likes his gummies. He's not that wild about Dan Patrick. Chip on his shoulder, and then of course Dan Patrick has, speaking of lobbies, has taken money from, alcohol lobby. I'm not going to throw out any numbers because I haven't fact checked them, but you want to do some fact checking,
It's a lot of money.
Find out it's probably going to be a lot of money. So who knows? The only way it doesn't go through is that he vetoes it, and that is, I think just kind of a, it's just like a super loaded issue, which is stupid because of how much of this country it isn't a loaded issue anymore, and it's fine. It's been going on long enough that I think we can determine what what the effects are, and everything seems fine.
And I heard there was a pushback from some wealthy people who are making a
Yeah,
lot of money
yeah,
and like, excuse us, we have businesses here.
yeah. That's what I understand. Yeah,
Maybe they're
that's what I'm
getting
saying.
Abbott's ear
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's all of the above. Maybe when they go, maybe when the lobbyists like show up at Abbott's door, he's got a bag of gummies with him. He's like, all right, let's chat. Now, listen, I've got to let Patrick put on as much of a show as he possibly can. So who knows? Maybe on the 21st he'll veto it. It would be amazing.
But for
I would
now, it's
laugh. I
business
would
as
laugh and
usual.
laugh. Yeah, but for now, yeah, it's business as usual. And even when it does go into effect, I don't think it officially goes into effect until September. So there you have it.
Now, you may not know, but they're not
I've
removing
heard that a lot in my life.
the CBD.
Yeah, they're not removing the CBD. So even the vendors that are operating now with the THCA and the Delta 9 and the Delta 8, all that stuff, which I never touch. Like, none of this really has, well, anyway, uh, they, they'll still be able to sell CBD, and I'm assuming CBD flower, um, and so it might not be the very end of them all. Um, it has always had the look of the flash in the pan anyway. It always looked like there was going to be some kind of like vape bust or THCA bust, because like those things are popping up just everywhere. Anytime, like, uh, you know, that for example, the gas pipe. You know what they sell at the gas pipe now? It's a shame, but it's all vape. You know, and God, what was the one that was down the street where they're riding a roach or whatever? What was that one called? Same thing though. It's a vape shop.
I don't remember that one.
I would always confuse it with the gas pipe.
So the gas pipe is now mostly vape?
Oh no, the gas pipe's no more, and the building is just a vape shop. But the same thing with Oat Willies. That's what I was thinking of. Same thing with Oat Willies.
Oh, the
The Oat
gas
Willies
pipe
that was
is
by my
gone?
house. Yeah, there's no more gas. Actually, the gas pipe. Um, you know, tell me if I'm mistaken, but from what I understand, the gas pipe got in trouble for selling fake weed. Years ago
Oh,
before
yeah,
Delta
they were
8.
doing the spice.
Yeah, whatever it was,
They were making that
the
weird
nasty
spice shit.
shit, shit. Yeah, and Hammer came down, which I would say rightfully so. Like that was
Yeah,
just as
that was
shady as
bad.
could be.
I never liked the gas pipe, to be honest. They always seemed like a shady place. Just it didn't seem cool. If
Yeah,
that makes any sense. I never wanted to go there.
yeah. It was. I don't know. The gas pipe that was closest to my house, I never had an issue with it. I had been there before. I was much more into the Oat Willies that was very close to my house. But Austin is still crawling with Planet K's.
I was a Oat
Those,
Willie's Planet K guy. I love me
yeah,
some
those
Planet
are,
K.
yeah, Planet K's are great. I like them a lot. And staff is always friendly. It just, yeah, that's what head shops used to be like. I've never been into the puffy cloud one, whatever that one's called. I can't remember now, but I do like their logo and sign, so should go in there sometime.
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah, there's one close to my house.
I
Maybe
love
next
going to
time
head
you're in
shops.
town. Maybe next time you're in town, we'll go check one out. See which one's the biggest one. That.
I love going to head shops, but there's definitely three different. I mean, there's a lot, but there's like three major kinds of head shop. There's a really cool head shop
Mm-hmm.
where you like going there and you're really comfortable, and the people behind the counter are probably high,
Mm-hmm.
like Planet K.
Yeah.
Planet K is a really cool head shop. And then there's that mid range where we're going to sell you some gear and we're going to sell you a bunch of other shit too. And this is
Mm-hmm.
just kind of what we do. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to sell some frisbees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of weird shit. Maybe some knives over there. I don't know. It's like,
Porn.
no, that's number
Vibrators.
three. That's
Oh,
number
that's three.
three. That's number
Oh,
three.
three is porn. Okay.
Is the one that's going to sell you porn.
Yeah.
There's one in West Lebanon down the road from me where, like, literally, you get here's some pipes, here's some dildos, here's some bongs, here's some dirty movies,
Mm-hmm.
like just weaved in together.
Yeah.
I don't like going there. Like, there's nothing offensive about it. It just the vibe is all off.
Yeah. It's weird to see porn where it doesn't belong. It obviously sticks out like a sore thumb. I always thought it was weird that they had porn in airport magazine shops. Like, I guess it's for jerking off in the bathroom stalls. That's really the only thing I can think of. And again, let me be clear. I'm talking about porn, not Playboy. Like, there's only one reason to read a Hustler, you know? Um, and you know, is it just going on in the bathrooms? Because like no one's just casually looking at a pornographic magazine on a flight, you know, like oh,
Maybe they're getting it when they land on the way to the hotel,
on the way. Okay,
so I don't have to make an extra stop. I don't know.
gotcha.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I've never bought porn in the airport.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think they do it anymore, actually. So
I feel weird.
I think this is a thing of the past. Yeah, it was weird, you know. It was almost just like, you know, because like there were always a few dirty magazine titles at any magazine store, and they were a magazine store. They just had them, you know, like hey, you never know. And then of course, sure enough, someone bought them. Surely, you know, who knows? Maybe they sold a lot of them.
I never saw anybody with one, but how much time did I spend at the newsstand at the airport, to be fair?
Right.
Not much.
Yeah. I don't know what would be weirder, buying porn at the airport magazine shop or hanging around the airport magazine shop to try and get a bead on how much porn they sold. They both seem like peculiar pursuits. IMO.
Just science.
So, it's research, dude.
Just science, man.
Yeah. You know, we'll just say you're the control subject. So go ahead and buy porn. Don't pay any attention to me. It's a notepad. It's a triplicate.
You know, I actually am a fan of the CBD flower. I'm smoking some right now.
Oh yeah. What is it about CBD flower you like? I mean, what is it? What's what? Because you've smoked THC already several times within the past hour, right?
Oh yeah, I will
So like,
sometimes mix them in the same bowl.
so what? Yeah, what's the deal? What's going on with CBD? What's it doing for you?
Two things for me. The CBD I find, as much as anything else, does much better for my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that it's legal, you can get CBD that is, bred for certain purposes. So plus I'm getting the CBD flower that's got a lot of myrcene in it, which also helps with that anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very calming. And I like to smoke. Like the action of smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And if I smoke that much weed, I get way too fucking high.
Gotcha. So yeah, kind of helps you, just helps with the oral fixation and yeah, the ability to just
I can smoke as much of this shit as I want to,
yeah.
whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Does not impair cognitive abilities.
Not even a little bit.
Nah.
Well, I bet maybe there's even like a little bit of a placebo effect where you have like an imaginary high.
It's definitely it's chill.
Mm-hmm.
I feel chill. Although you can get shit that'll make you ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you can get the CBG flower now, which is really heady.
CBG.
Hmm.
What is this now?
It's
Why
it's
do they keep in? Why? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
why do they keep making new cannabinoids? People wanted an energetic one, and they found this one, and so there's only a few strains that have built up noticeable levels of it so far. But
Gotcha.
people seem to dig it. Lifter. Lifter is one that's got a lot of CBG.
Okay.
And
Well, I do like energy. Uh, I saw Wu Tang Clan um, on Sunday. It was great.
how many of the Wu Tang Clan were actually there?
Well, like they were all
Wait,
there.
all except, of course, ODB.
Yeah. Well, that old dirty bastard's son was there. They were calling him young dirty bastard, and he did old dirty bastard's parts.
Nice.
Um, and then of course, like they had some of old dirty bastard's voice, in the mix. All those great like he just did some crazy shit. I could never give it justice by even trying. So that's as far as I'm going to go with it. But like, let's just suffice to say, the man had a very unique voice, and like what they're doing with their DJs and stuff. Like, oh, that was the other thing too. It's like an all live band. Like they had some samples, but it was like drums, bass, guitar. They also had I can't remember her name now, but they have a female singer that comes out, does female parts for the song. Like they did that song. They sample after the laughter comes tears. After the anyway, she did that. Yeah, it was great. It was a great show. Um, Enjoyed it. Uh, and I have to say that you have to be careful in today's day and age. Because you're drinking and they're asking you to do all these hand gestures that involve you putting your hands up in the air. And if you're not careful, if you don't if you don't pay attention, you could accidentally do the wrong thing, and then someone just takes your picture, and you've lost your job. So like maybe make the W first, like down here, and be like, all right, the W is ready, now I can do it. And then there are actually other times when they're telling you to do other things with your arm in the air that you should maybe just you. Speaking to myself, I will just sit that one out. I will not do that particular. Like it's not exactly problematic, but I'm just like I don't want to lose my job. Getting my
I,
picture taken at the and that's the other thing too. It's like it's cool if it's like they're like telling you to go Wu Tang, Wu Tang, but then at one point he's like Wu Tang, and then the audience is like Clan, and I'm like, see, somebody gets out the phone and they take a little video, and the video is you, and all you can see is this Clan. That's bad. That's gonna be bad for you. Maybe.
certain thing. There are several things a
So
Caucasian
have
should not be
fun. You can
doing.
just have fun, but you don't have to do every single thing that the Wu Tang tells you to do.
Certain things a Caucasian just should never do.
Yeah, but it was great. Run the Jewels played like for 35 minutes, which is a little bit of a heartbreaker, like um, just in that I love them so much, and but
That's the opening band, man.
that's the opening band. Yeah, the fact that they have Run the Jewels opening for them and they're only playing for 35 minutes really speaks to what a big fucking deal they are. And it was weird to me that they were saying that this is going to be their last tour because, you know, everyone looks great for the most part. Like, I didn't really see anyone who was like, why never say never sort of thing, like,
Dude, I went to the Who's last show
mm-hmm.
in 1986.
Right. Yeah.
This is it. Done. Last tour. Never gonna play
Yep.
again.
Right.
So, grain of salt. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I just don't know why they have to, you don't have to say that. Just, or who knows? Maybe they want to pull a Jason Voorhees.
Well, they pretty much most of them have their own gigs too.
Oh, dude, you don't have to tell me because, like, during one break they showed a commercial for the RZA's new movie. Then during another break they showed a commercial for Ghostface Killer's video game. Then during another commercial break, they showed a commercial for a documentary series about Raekwon's The Purple Tape, which was also happens to have Ghostface Killer on it, but was also produced by one of the members, and yeah, just who is the? I don't know much about Wu-Tang lore, so is there anyone specific on that stage that it was a big deal to have them back? Like maybe someone who like actually just quit. It was like, I won't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. I am not that guy.
Okay, yeah, because I know, like they have all put out their solo projects. In fact, I'd seen RZA before. You know, I'd seen him perform, but I
I've
you know
never seen him perform,
I'd never seen the Wu Tang
but
Clan. Yeah,
I've
I've also seen the RZA speak at screenings.
I've seen him
Um,
speak at several
yeah,
screenings.
yeah,
Hmm.
me too. But
I am much more familiar with RZA, the kung fu movie expert,
mhm.
than Bobby Digital. But I know he is Bobby Digital, so that counts for something.
Mhm. It's a good album. Good album. Listen to it high.
The hip hop is not my focus.
Yeah. But yeah, Run the Jewels were great. And actually, LP had mentioned that his father had recently passed away. And they dedicated the song to his father. It's a very touching moment. Seems like, I mean, that's a pretty significant, event in your life. Like I've lost my mom. I know what that feels like. And, you know, uh, I definitely commend him for like sharing that with the audience. But I've seen these guys like 5 times, and it seems like every time I see them, they, really give their hearts to the audience and share and are really open with them. And on more than one occasion, I've seen one of them get choked up. Like I saw him like in the rain once, and Killer Mike got choked up just thanking the audience for sticking around because totally fucking did. Like there was no like exodus at all. Like everyone was just there in the rain, watched them do it, and it was a great fucking set too. That was in Houston. That was a great set. Great band. Go see Run the Jewels anytime you get the chance. They are fantastic live. They're great guys. Great stage banter.
I like Killer Mike a lot as like a person.
Yeah. Yeah, I like them both. As, just who they are, where they're coming from, what they do. Like they just seem, their personalities seem really fun. And yeah, Killer Mike did Frisky Dingo.
Yes, he did.
Have you
Tequil.
talked about Frisky Dingo on
We
this
have
show
never
before?
talked about Frisky
You've never
Dingo on the
talked
show.
about Frisky Dingo because you have, if I'm not mistaken, watched the entire all. It's 2 seasons, right, or 3 seasons?
Yes, two
Two
seasons.
seasons. You've watched both seasons several times, right?
Dozens.
Dozens.
Dozens would be fair.
How long is one of the
Oh
seasons? It's like 3.5 hours, something like that.
fuck, it's like 12 episodes and they're 11
Yeah.
minutes each.
Right.
So, about 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
2 hours you can knock out the whole series. Maybe a little longer. No, I legitimately probably watch it at least once a month.
It's
It's in a rotation of comfort
mhm.
comfort things that I watch before bed.
Yeah. What's it the terrible superhero character, the pre-Archer character,
Yeah, Xander Cruz.
Xander Cruz. Yeah. I always think of that line Xander Cruz gives when they're talking about, he's like, well, I'd jerk off right here if I had my stuff.
Was a chronic masturbator. Kind of still
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
Snip snap indeed.
Slideshow.
But no, Killer Mike is all over both seasons of Frisky Dingo. Much
Yep.
more so the second season. They really amped his role up.
And what's the name of that company again? William Street?
Yes, William Street.
Yeah, that's where Killer Mike and LP met.
Oh, no shit.
Williams, yeah, William Street wanted to put out a Killer Mike album, and it was their idea to hire LP. That's what I've heard. That they were the ones who thought to hire LP to produce it, and yeah, just I guess a very fast friendship.
Well, that's awesome. William Street has brought many wonderful
Yeah.
things into the world.
Actually, let me amend that statement slightly. If what I said is wrong, please don't correct me. I want to just keep believing that.
It's a good story.
That's what we did before the internet. We just kept believing things whether they were true or not. Now that we have the internet, shit, that hasn't changed at all.
Some of it's gotten worse.
Guess so.
The flat earthers in particular.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, obviously it's not cool that it could be quite damaging, to your psyche, and it's not nice to laugh at people that going through that, but I can't help it. I do laugh at them. I don't encourage people to laugh at them.
I kind of do,
Yeah,
but I shouldn't because it only makes it worse.
I mean, yeah,
Being mocked for your beliefs can very much make you take them more serious.
it's often how that works. Might be what we're looking at, well, uh, today's. That's all I'll say about that.
I'm being persecuted.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not sure where else. Let's see here. I know that we talked about horror movies and steam engines and THCA in Texas and CBD
CBD.
and CBG, which I guess is like a more peppy CBD.
We could talk about CBN.
Was that like a weed news network?
No, it's another cannabinoid.
Well, now I'm getting kind of annoyed at all these cannabinoids.
Which you've had probably unknowingly.
Okay.
Because while you can
Sure.
breed for it and get plants that have more of it, it also turns out that if you let your flowers stay on the bush too long, the THC starts to degrade and turns into CBN.
Huh. Interesting.
And that's one reason that really old weed can be a lot more sleepy.
Ah. Sits around too long, it'll make you sleepy.
Yeah. That you can also lose some potency that way. But
Sure.
if you leave it on the plant, you watch the trichomes and you let them turn golden,
Uh-huh.
then you will have a high CBD or CBN,
CBN. And then that'll be sleepy time weed.
and that'll be more sleepy.
Interesting. I mean, I guess like, the more prolific it becomes and the more broader it's studied, that you come up with stuff like that.
Yeah, the more you find.
Yeah.
And sometimes in weird ways. They found a terpene that only happens in certain types of Moroccan hash because of aging that they didn't know existed. But some guys were making a machine to
Mhm.
sniff packages at the airport to find weed and hash, and the sniffer picked up this shit that they had never seen before, and that's how they discovered this new terpene.
Hmm.
He's making a robot to sniff weed. Robots putting dogs out of jobs, which don't
That
seem right.
seems, yeah, that just seems like a weird way to go. Although I can't really imagine like, any sort of like, dog sniffing job to be very practical, like at the airport or whatever.
I mean, there's other places dogs work and other things they sniff,
Yeah.
but we don't have to talk about sniffing dogs. I have been sniffed by a few dogs.
Hmm. My stepdad once freaked out and ran away because we were going into um, a pig stand to get late night breakfast, and there were several cop cars, and one of them had a dog in it, and it just like barked at him as soon as we approached, like rah, 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 rah. And he just ran away, and he didn't get any pig stands.
I can I can see that happen,
Yeah,
having
he's a
met him.
goof. He's a goof. Yeah.
Oh. Oh yeah, I don't know what else there is to talk about. I
Well,
suppose we could call it a night.
yeah. Seems like conversationally we've perhaps reached a good stopping point, but I hope you know someone else might enjoy this as much as I did, because I always like a good conversation, and this was fun.
This was fun.
And I know that very soon we'll be discussing Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny,
That
and
needs to
that
happen soon
will,
because I have so many things to say.
yes, it's
I'm
unfortunate that
I
we.
may have over prepared.
That's all right. That's all right. Uh, I'm excited to hear all those things, and that'll likely happen on a Tuesday, right? Like,
That I hope so.
When we get back
There's
to
possible
Tuesday, so
changes in the
yeah.
works, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, folks.
But if we're not ready to do it a week from today, maybe we could just return to talk about nothing again.
I think we will,
Surely,
for sure. And if you're
surely
watching
there'll be
this
something.
before tomorrow night, which would be the 18th of
Hmm.
June, come to Total Recall. Tomorrow night,
Yep,
we'll be talking about Graham Chapman's Yellowbeard.
yep. Grab Chapman and Marty Feldman's final film, 1983, and a film that I did not realize I knew so well until the movie started. And then I was like, holy shit, I know this movie very, very well. So,
I remembered so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It all just came flooding back. It was that weird experience where you kind of knew what was going to happen right before it happened. You didn't know what was going to happen 5 minutes ago, but not 5 minutes in advance. But as soon as you start seeing visual cues for it, you're like, oh, I know what's coming. So,
So, yeah, come tomorrow night and learn a few more things.
yeah,
But
exciting.
until next Tuesday, I wish you all a great rest of your week. Clean your bongs, get high. Until next time.